Hey there, welcome to What's Now? What's she up to now? Day 2491. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey and sharing lessons learned, most of them the hard way, as I originally transitioned from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And back and forth again with the pandemic and everything. I was so grateful that I had already jumped online and was doing things online. Like a lot of other business owners, it was a huge uh, upheaval and time of learning and action, even though we were prevented from doing a lot of the things that we would normally want to be doing during that time period. A topic for another day. So today we're talking about in Supersize Your Business, as well as in the Let's Grow Annual Challenge, the tip and tool, the no nonsense November lesson learned tip and tool of the day is self-esteem. And then using guided journaling or journaling, self-esteem journaling templates to help us to improve our self-esteem, to always be working on it. To me, self-esteem is one of those things that we are just always improving, always working on, always trying to be a better version of ourselves. I guess that's part of my definition of becoming a better version of myself. Am I feeling better about myself? Am I showing up and being an example more often than a warning? Am I behaving in ways that I want to behave? And you know what? Every day is a chance to improve and change and learn and grow. And guided templates, guided journaling templates are a way to do that. In the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page, I share someone's story, and I shared Katrina's story today of how she uses self-esteem journaling templates, guided journaling, meaning there's questions and prompts in it to help you to explore things that you might not otherwise think about. The reason I like them is it covers things that my brain doesn't necessarily want me to see. It's one of the reasons, one of my favorite workbooks, and I go back to it every once in a while, and I don't have it sitting here. And I've given it to my children and to people I love and care about because it was recommended to me following my sudden cardiac arrest by the infamous Jim Edwards. Love Jim Edwards, plug for him. But he told me about that book when we were on the Jim boat cruise. And I was like, because I had come on that right after my sudden cardiac arrest. And it was kind of my first outing after that event. And so it was a great tool. It turned out I loved the book by Lynn Grabhorn, but I'd never known that there was a workbook. So I got the workbook, and it took me well over a year to go through it the first time, because I told myself I wouldn't move on from one exercise to the next until I finished each one sequentially through the book. I wanted to go through her experience and her way of transforming people as they go through her guided workbook on Your Life is Waiting. And there were a couple exercises that should have been no-brainers. And after I finally got myself to do them, one took me over 2 months. Every day I would look at it and I couldn't get myself to do it. It was a huge block for me that I needed to overcome. And so every day I'd look at it, and then finally, I don't know, I got sick of waiting, and I wanted to get the project for myself done. I wanted to get through the transformation. And I finally just made myself do it one day. And then it only took like 5 minutes and I was done. And then I was like kind of beating myself up. Like, really? It took me 2 months to get ready to address this thing in my past that I have been avoiding addressing. And then the floodgates open, and I cruised through the whole rest of the guided book. So yesterday, in preparation for today's topic, I was, of course, on Amazon because I'm a book lover and a book fiend. Even though I can't see very well, I love books still. And there's a 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 questions about me book. So, of course, I have to buy that because I'm super curious. It's probably written by AI and I'll be really annoyed, but how do I know until I get it? So I got that. And I also got something else. I can't remember, another, I think a creativity book, because I'm bouncing around the idea of doing one creative thing every day next year, as next year's annual challenge. Haven't decided. Love some input on that if you're interested in that, or is it just me that likes to find creative solutions to things? I don't know. So, or do creative fun things. Share in the comments below, or if you've got a suggestion for next year's topic, because I'm going to do another annual challenge. I always say I'm not going to. This is my last one. And then in December sometime, usually I'm like, no, I do this for everybody else, but I also do it for me so that I continue to grow and work toward the things that I want in my life and hold myself accountable. It's very humbling to hold yourself accountable in front of other people, right? It's one thing to hold ourselves accountable because we can fool other people some of the time, but we can never fool ourselves. So if we pick a way to hold ourselves accountable to ourselves and other people, it's just much more powerful. So we talked about self-esteem today, talked about guided meditation, rating ourselves. I say, and I do this a lot, I rate myself, okay, well, how's my self-esteem today? If I'm having a bad day, that's probably not very high. So it's under average, under 5. If I'm having a great day, it's probably up towards 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I don't know if I've ever had a 10 self-esteem day. Probably a couple of experiences there, but that is a place I like to visit, but I haven't chosen to live there yet. All right. If I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day. I will too. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.